How are you all doing this evening? I have been having so many technical difficulties, probably because I haven't been live in so long. So, again, Grand Rising, how are you doing? Blessed people, is your girl. I'm back, straight no chaser with the Queen. We're here on my channel and on Fly Nubian Queen, the channel for melanated people like you. So, come on in here. Come on in here. And let's talk about what's going on with the Michelle Avan case. I wanted to tell her story. I have a follower out there that brought this story to me. Shout out to Black Mama who has been supporting me. I have been going through so many different changes from getting COVID to everything, but I really appreciate the support. So, we're going to talk about Michelle. Michelle Avan was not just a bank executive at Bank of America, but she was also an activist. So that's why this story is important. Now, hey, Black Mama. Now, Black Mama, can you put it in the text? We need everybody to do a call for action. Greetings, everyone. Beautiful melanated people. We want everybody to follow this Michelle Avan story. I know a lot of times stories do not go viral, or we don't hardly get into stories unless the person is dead. We don't really support anyone unless something tragic has happened. Sometimes we don't know that we have people out here in the corporate world that is fighting for us. So Michelle was a fighter. And let me see. You see, if you look her up, go Black Mama put it in the chat. If you click on Justice for Michelle on Facebook, you'll see that her family is fighting for justice. So let me see if I got this right and be able to share my screen. And we're going to let you hear the story of what's going on with Michelle. So one moment. Right now, I'm just going to share this. This is Michelle's movement page, the movement for justice for Michelle. Michelle was brutally murdered by one of us, our Black men, who actually she was dating. She was trying to get away from him. She was actually trying to get a restraining order. Grand Rising, everyone. She was actually trying to get a restraining order. And the the animal's name was Anthony Turner. Now, this story is going to have a lot of twists and turns because it has Black Lives Matter, and it also has, a district attorney that his name is George Gascon. Now, back to how Michelle is wrapped up with George Gascon after I explain her story. She was dating Anthony. And hold on one second. One moment. One moment. My page is acting up, so y'all just give me one moment. Let me see if I got my battery for my computer. I've been up here trying to fix everything. But Michelle, she was dating Anthony Turner. He worked at the Bank of America too. What a lot of Bank of America seems like is a lot of people in this story. Bank of America is not basically telling Michelle's story. They're not connecting Anthony Turner, who murdered Michelle, with him working at Bank of America. So you have two bank executives, high class, working at Bank of America. They were dating each other, Michelle and Anthony. Anthony went in Michelle's home and beat her to death. He beat her and left her there for days. He beat her and left her there for days. She was an activist in the corporate world. You have to look up her story. After he beat her and left her there for days, her son, who could not get in touch with her, Michelle has 2 children. Her son that could not get in touch with her went to her home to look for her, and she was found. He found her mutilated, beat to death on the on her floor. Now, the Michelle's family wants the DA George Gascon to lead the fight to justice. And this is what the problem is. George Gascon was hired by Black Lives Matter. Basically, he got in like most of them do and get us to support them. And what happened is that he has this new special circumstances. And he basically was supposed to be fighting. He's supposed to be fighting for our this is Michelle right here, and her son and her daughter. And she actually just had a granddaughter. So George Gascon, he is supposed to have been fighting for our rights. You know how we have these people that get behind us with the Black Lives Matter. Well, what happened is that he actually is causing more harm than anything, because in the fight to so-called end racism, he's letting criminals go free. So what happens is, if this case does not have special circumstances applied to it, the man that murdered this woman, who was a fighter for us, who's a mother, who's a grandmother, who spent her life climbing and the ladder and bringing her people with her, to only end up beat to death in her room, in her house, that's supposed to be her protection. And this prosecutor, DA, is supposed to be so-called helping racism by not giving people the death penalty. We're talking about, honey, we're talking about people who are stuck in the system, not cold-blooded murderers. So basically, Gascon, his policies that he has in place would allow the man who is basically being charged with her murder to actually go free in a few years. He will be released in a few years. And so let me go here one moment. Let me play a little bit of this for you so that you can actually understand what he is doing. This is going to be about this attorney, the DA, and you'll hear what the problem is. And Michelle falls under this circumstance, this special circumstance. One moment. They want this DA to be removed. Michelle's family want the DA to add special circumstances to their mom's case.
Others are saying they are shocking, some even threatening to leave the office.
Congratulations, Mr. District Attorney.
Thank you, Your Honor.
George Gascon is now Los Angeles County's 43rd District Attorney. His overall message, the end of the era of mass incarceration begins today.
How do we fail multiple generations of the same families?
1/3 of the entire state prison population is sentenced from Los Angeles County.
Moments after swearing in, he announced sweeping changes.
Locking up kids doesn't help. It hurts. And that is why I am immediately ending the practice of charging kids as adults.
Gascon said his office won't seek the death penalty and wants to end cash bail.
We need to move to a risk-based system where you're making custody decisions, pretrial decisions, based on whether or not somebody poses a threat to our community, not based on how much money they have in their pocket.
Hundreds being held in jail for misdemeanors because they couldn't post bail could be eligible to be released as early as tomorrow.
I recognize that these are big changes, but they are changes that will enable us to actually protect the truly vulnerable.
Here's a list of other changes. Number 4 is huge. Gascon no longer seeking enhancements to crimes like gang affiliation. That could take years off a person's sentence and will be applied retroactively. More than 20,000 past cases are now up for review.
The announcements that he made today are nothing short of historic. It's going to fundamentally transform the criminal justice system in Los Angeles, and certainly across California.
Groups like Black Lives Matter, who often clash with former DA Jackie Lacey, say this is a great applauding the start. Applaud will reopen. Wonder whether his policies, some of which he implemented.
Now you heard what I am is stopping here because see how good he reeled them in. This was during his election when he wanted to get elected, kind of like Kamala and Joe Biden did y'all that vote. So you heard what he said. They go with our children first, right? He was saying, oh, we're going to stop the death penalty and stuff instead of stopping these corrupt police. See, that's why I say I think that George Gascon is a op. He's the op. We always voting somebody in that don't look like us because we feel like we need somebody who don't look like us to represent us because they obviously could help our struggle. But we get people who don't look like us that's representing us and they don't care nothing about our struggle because they're not us. And in the midst of them coming in to use and piggyback off of us, to use our struggle as a ladder to climb to their political top, they're basically causing more trouble. He's a former police officer and he's a DA. So it sounds all good that he's saying, oh, we're not going to do any more child this and that. It shouldn't be no child executions anyway. But what he has did was cause a bunch of commotion and confusion. And that's how Michelle's story is tied into here. Because Michelle is a woman who is a victim of a brutal crime. A brutal crime. No matter black or white. I'm going to tie in something at the end of this. We have to get off of the justice system about being black and white. The only thing white about the justice system is that white people get let go free and most black and brown people are locked up. And most of the laws are for black and brown people. So Michelle's story is she was beaten. She was taken from the earth, from her children and her family. Her job at Bank of America by another Bank of America's employees. You know how like when sometimes when something happened, you know how like Travis Scott, he's attached to the tragedy that happened at the concert. Why is Bank of America not attached to these two employees? One employee beat the other one to death when she was trying to get a restraining order against him. Why didn't Bank of America stop in before it got to this point? But you see, but how Gascon is in this is because our people, we're always looking for the great white hope. And as I just played the video, he promised us a lot of stuff that we was wanting to hear. We keep thinking that if we fix this fire over here, all those fires over there that's burning is not going to affect us. Black folks is only trying to help the black people that's in their vicinity. Like he's in Los Angeles, he's making these changes. But what we have to understand as black people, changes need to be made all over, not in small parts, because in small parts it's not going to change nothing. So when you get these people that come up here trying to get your vote for whatever ladder they're trying to climb by always piggybacking off of our struggles, by promising us things that they never go ahead and produce. No, that's right, Keisha. No tangibles or nothing. So I'm gonna show you a clip. Right after the video I just showed, that was him prepping us to get his vote. So after prison reform, no this, no that, they make it seem like we want to live wildly like them. They make it seem like black people just don't want rules. We just want to shoot and kill, when it's the opposite. We're being hypnotized. Those pale people, I ain't even got my petty bag, but those pale people, they don't want rules. They write rules for us. And then when they come along, they have ran out of promises. So now you get small people promising reform. We need the whole government to be reformed. But Michelle is falling victim because in Gascon's way of trying to so-called help us, he's destroying us more. So let me show you after Black Lives Matter heard all this and that. Maybe you'll cut that down some. After Black Lives Matter heard all this and that, from the fake promises, just like the people do. We jump on the bandwagon without no tangibles. So they jumped on his bandwagon. And this is what's and this is where they came up. Let me see. Hold on one second. Let me give me 1 minute. I wanted to get to the here it is. This is what we did. See, we always rolling out the red carpet for our enemy who make promises. We don't need our enemy to fix our wounds when they stabbing us at the same time. We don't need people who don't look like us, only look a tad like us to represent us. It's time, if y'all are going to do some stuff in America, because you know we got our own micronation that we grown. But if y'all are going to do some stuff in America, start thinking. The only person that is going to represent you is the person who can tell your story, not somebody who you tell a story to. Like we played you know how we play that thing called telephone a long time ago? I whisper something in your ear, then you repeat it. By the time it comes to the classroom, it's all twisted. Well, if they don't experience what we experience and they don't understand our struggle from a personal point, they cannot represent you. So y'all need to stop with the bullshit. Excuse me. So here's what Black Lives Matter did after they got their promises.
Right in front of our eyes. Our district attorney has done nothing about police brutality, and the police unions are thanking her by spending millions to keep district attorney on. George Gascon is the candidate. It's time to wake up, Los Angeles. Grew up in George LA. Gascon is the candidate we can trust. He grew up in LA and he's prosecuted. Make it happen. The attorney has done nothing about.
Now you hear that, right?
And the police unions are thanking her by spending millions to keep her in office. It's time to wake up, Los Angeles. George Gascon is the candidate we can trust.
I'm sorry.
He grew up in LA and he's prosecuted officers.
Okay. Now you see the advertisement. That was him. See how he prosecuted. What does prosecuting a small amount do for the masses? Nothing. Is it still choppy? Of what we did, he did this, he did that. Well, you need discipline. So let us correct the stereotype that's out there. Black people want white people to stop oppressing us. It doesn't mean we want to run rapid and let every damn murderer or felon free that belongs to be locked up. Everybody does not belong out of jail. We don't need rapists and pedophiles in jail. We need more white rapists and pedophiles in jail. We don't need more black people who murder people out on the streets. We need more people in jail for nonviolent crimes out on the streets. So Gascon had played them, right? So this is what's going on now with, see, that's the way they think. They think when we fighting for justice, we want to just be free and wild because, you know, they mimic us and depict us as animals and wild and stuff when it's actually them, animals in suits that pretend when they have vile, savage behavior. We are not saying we want all our people free. We just saying we want the people to stop being ostracized and stop being villainized for things that is human. And we want white people to stop attacking black people and throwing them in their jails while they let their white ones go free. So when he comes in, if you are not distinct about what you want, black people, we got to stop just yelling and be distinct about what we want. Now, Michelle family is suffering because it's political and she's not getting any justice because you got political people, as you heard, when he was, the other prosecutor he was talking about was a black woman. So they voted for him over a black woman because he made promises. But what's going on now? All the smash and grabs, all the crime. Now California is running rapid with crime. And guess who they're going to put that stereotype on? The people with this complexion, the people whose skin look like this. Even though the crime is being created because of this, the mighty pen and paper, because of policies and stuff. You get what I'm saying? So this is what's happening with George Gascon's so-called I'm not gonna prosecute or give any people the death penalty, because his way of getting rid of the death penalty is saying that more black people. That's how he used us to get his vote, like Biden and Kamala. Is it still buffering? It might be if it's still buffering, but just like Biden and Kamala, they use tactics to get our ear. That'll be okay. Can y'all hear me? They use tactics. I'm not saying nothing. Not on your end. Okay. They use tactics to get us to vote. So they tap into our empathy when they never give us empathy. When it's time to tap into our empathy to make us think that they empathize on us, they'll say your children. So he used, oh, there's too many black kids innocently being locked up and they getting the death penalty. Well, how the hell are they getting the death penalty? It's not getting the death penalty. It's the people who's writing the death penalty. It's the people who's going out here making fake charges. But he wants to end the death penalty. Some people need to get the hell up out of here because they do the earth no good. And that's just my opinion. Some people need the death penalty because I don't need to keep watching you if you're going to be raping and killing little children. I need you going off this earth so that the rest of us can live in peace. So that's my opinion about it. Y'all can play all that kumbaya stuff. Do y'all see what's going on in the world? We almost at the end. We almost ain't got no air, no oceans or nothing. And y'all still letting these people play y'all on empathy when they give you no empathy. They don't care about this black woman, Michelle Avan, who was beat and killed. He say he was for the black women, the children, all these innocent black people being executed, but then you have black people being murdered and you're letting the murderers go because you got this special circumstances when you say that you don't want to lock a lot of black people up who is innocent, but you got cold hard murder where there is non-deniable. It is undenied that they murdered somebody, and he's refusing to add special circumstances to this Michelle Avan case. So if Michelle Avan's murderer goes to trial without this, he will be getting out because he's almost 50. He'll be getting out in less than 5 years, about 5 years. So we need to understand that they need to stop playing us with policy. Our whole life been writing, the white men done took everything from us with this, y'all. The first treaty, this. We need to stop being playing. If they're not going to represent all of us for real, stop taking half their help. There was a lot of people that didn't want to touch this story because Gascon has been known to hit them back a little bit. So what? There's casualties at war. How many times the Queen done told y'all that? There's casualties at war. So what? He prosecuted a little bit of police officers. Do you know about it? If it was that famous, you would know about him, just like you know George Floyd name, and just like you know Joe Biden and all them, because it would stand out. He ain't care. He ain't did whatever he did. It wasn't enough. Show me more. Do y'all take this less from a relationship, or y'all do? We are in a relationship with America, and they don't care. And they giving us crumbs and y'all accepting it. You give anything to give your precious goods away. They promise you one thing and you give it away. What about the rest of us? We have lost the tribe mentality. If he was protecting us because of murder, then your first option when this black woman was murdered with a bare hands by another man, black or white, it don't matter. We're talking about justice. If your whole campaign was based on black people and Black Lives Matter, he played us what we want to hear about the death penalty. We're not stupid, y'all. Stop letting them give us stupid prizes. Stop taking these dumbass prizes. They ain't giving us nothing tangible. He did not give us anything tangible. They didn't do anything. All to me is that Gascon is creating a cloud of dust. See, you got to understand when your enemy comes in and help and feed you, you got to know if the food is poison. You might be full and it might satisfy the need at the time, but then next thing you know, you croaking on the floor in the corner somewhere. This man, Gascon, is the DA, and y'all will see it in my thumbnail. Well, you seen on the video. He full of it. Let us stop looking for the great white hope. Dark skin can work for you because you dark skinned or the black or whatever. I'm not saying just the skin. I'm talking about us, because light skinned people, we know you black too. We talking about us. We need us to represent us. Stop it. Stop getting the mascot. Stop with the damn puppets. We don't need the puppets no more because the puppets have not done anything in 1,800 years. So let me show you. Let me get something for you if it'll play, because I was trying to So basically now they're mad with him. They want him out. One moment. Let me share this. He's blasted. So with this great white hope, he's telling you things you want to hear. Oh, no more death penalty. No more this, no more that. Some people need to be electrocuted up out of here. And I'm not going to lie. I don't care how they suffer. If you can, the stuff that has been done to other people, just like this Anthony Turner that killed Michelle Avan. He went in her house, y'all. Imagine your fear. Sit with me for a moment. And imagine you work at a so-called high class bank because you up here, you're an activist. And then you in your house of safety, you go out and you fight for everybody else. You're in your house of safety, and all of a sudden nobody is fighting for you, and you've been trying to get a restraining order against this big man, and she was small. He's big as hell. And he breaks in and beats you to a pulp. He beat her so bad, y'all. Then next thing you know, he left her there for a couple of days, knowing she had children, young children. Her son was looking for her. And he had to come and find that. He didn't even take the audacity to cover up her body or try to do nothing. But George Gascon wants to give him special circumstances so he could be rehabilitated. How can you be rehabilitated when you got it better than everybody black that's sitting in jail? You worked at Bank of America. You lived a high-class life. You had the education that we hope for. You got the money that we hope for. You live in the neighborhoods that we supposed to be trying to get to. What can we reform you from? You obviously, it's a fake. Baby, you get my charger. Do I got it?
Which one, for your phone?
For my computer. I think I left it in the room. Dang. I think I left it in the room on the bed. My phone, my thing finna die. I'm sorry, y'all. I moved to my other office back here. But he left her. And all of a sudden we want to give him special circumstances. Special circumstances supposed to be for black men and women who are in the system who never got the chance. And because they were raised in a certain way or without fault, he had whatever. He had what you're going to give the young drug dealer who didn't beat nobody with their hands and leave them for dead for their children to find. How can you weigh out that scale of justice? That reform is for that young child who might have been living in war zones that we call the ghettos, who know nothing else but to pick up a gun and pick up a gun to protect himself, drugs to make his money. There's a whole difference from a privileged black man who had the privilege of going to do this and do that. And he gets to get the same reform and the same empathy that this young black man who's struggling and families probably struggle. No, Gascon, see, that lets you know those that represent us just look at us all the same. That lets you know they're not separating our struggles. That lets you know they know nothing about our struggles. Only we know something about our struggles, and we need to start letting people tell us about our struggles, because that's it. This is a controversial story because the man who did this that I'm talking about, he black, he melanated, he black, he a nigger. I don't have nothing for them. He took a queen out of here who had a child, 2 children, who was doing what she was supposed to do. You'll plug it right there for me. Who was doing what she was supposed to do. We need those at the top at the bank. She was fighting battles me and you didn't even already know about. She was fighting battles we didn't know about. Because we're not there. We need black people in different levels like the army. That's right, Black Mama. Black Mama, if it's okay to say, Black Mama brought this story to me a while ago, and then so much happened before I before I was able to get back on. You know, some of us have to take mental breaks and things happen and stuff. So I have the mind to do it now. So, like I said, we need to stop being played by those who want to act like they represent us, because they can't nobody represent us better than us, boo. No family, like Black Mama said, wants their loved ones brutally murdered and get out of prison with such a small amount of time. 5 years, y'all, for beating a woman, a black woman, a melanated woman, a queen face in. They don't care because that's their way of rewarding them, just like they rewarded Kyle Rittenhouse. And I'm going to just say this quick about Kyle Rittenhouse, y'all. It was important for us to watch that trial because it's not about black or white. The system of white supremacy is racism. It is not of basically black or white. Now with the system of white supremacy, black people can use the system against each other. That's how we call the police and all that. And white people use the system, except for the difference is white people benefit more from the system. Black people get used by the system. So right now, the system of white supremacy with the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, he was at a protest for another black person that they all was protesting. So regardless of them white people they said was killed, that was still a black event because it was just like we were saying, George Floyd. Imagine we was at a Sandra Bland or Tamar Rice and this same incident happened. The thing is, he was dropped off to go harass black people because they was mad that anytime we stand up for ourselves. So when they opened up that door for white people to start coming to y'all protest and shooting you. And I say y'all because I don't believe in protesting like that no more. I believe that you protest with your dollars the same way they starve you, the same way they put you in ghettos. The way white people move is with money. So they sit up here and you have to understand this white guy, young white guy, underage, y'all. He was 17. Nobody caught on till he was drinking in the bar. Under age 21, nobody cared that his parents dropped him off with a gun, but let you leave your child in the car to go to a job interview. You in their system, and then your child is separated. They separate families. But his mama get to drop him off with a full-fledged gun. He killed 2 people, and then he get to cry that they ran at him because they was representing black. They represented black people. They were casualties at war. Those are the white people that they can be executed and then play in front of you. That it's not about black. It's about justice. It's all about black and white. It's all about black and white. That's why the Kyle Rittenhouse murder trial was important. Yes, Ahmaud Arbery, we knew the circumstances with Ahmaud Arbery, but y'all don't understand what was going on with Kyle Rittenhouse. We have a new way that they're coming to fight us, and I'm finna let y'all see. They coming in with policies that make it look like it's even and it's just, and we ignoring it like we always do, and they come around and allow stuff to happen. This Gascon case is allowing murderers to come out, so the more black murderers you let off in the street, the more of us get killed. Do y'all understand this? The more murderers that's let out, cold-blooded murderers, that's just common sense. Why would you let these people out? If you have the capability to beat somebody face in, to beat them with your own hands or whatever you use, while somebody is yelling and screaming and crying and begging for their life, and you could still walk away and don't give a damn, and then you go eat and go to work and you go around like it ain't shit, knowing that they got 2 kids, and you and Gascon is okay with letting people like that out on the street, meaning he could trigger. What if it's a child next? So let me show you what's going on with him, with his so-called policies that's going to help black people. Black people, let them stop using us. Kyle Rittenhouse trial was a beacon. Y'all talking about Trump. Y'all looking for something straight in your face. These people don't talk to you straight in your face. These people do stuff behind your back so that you will not know that you are, they said you are, when crack hit the neighborhoods and guns, we picked them up because we didn't know. But they knew that in a couple of years, we was going to be using them against each other. Then in a few more years, it was going to be war zone. That's why we end up where we are now. They're doing it right now. They're changing the laws to allow murderers. They did it when they did Stand Your Ground. Listen to this.
Retired LA County Sheriff's Deputy. Tanya, thanks for being here. That previous recall effort failed in October. Why will you succeed this time?
Well, we're definitely going to succeed this time, number one, because we're better prepared. We have a very robust campaign. We're also financially prepared, which we were not in that previous campaign. And truthfully,
this is Gascon.
More aware of what the debacle that is being caused by George Gascon and his directives. So now, with people being more aware and clearly seeing the crime wave that is taking place in Los Angeles County, we all want something done. We're tired of this. And truthfully, in the last 30 years that I have been in law enforcement, I have never seen anything like this. Both a combination of the crime wave that we have, as well as the lack of support for law enforcement. And I've never seen a DA not enforce the law and not fight for criminals.
It truly is
George Gascon.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Tanya.
George Gascon, his agenda is really just to empower criminals to do what they want to do by not punishing their crimes, by not charging allegations with guns, by not charging crimes that are provable. In the last several months, there have been over 5.
Text me your email address again real quick, Queen, because I'm on the live.
By the LA County Sheriff's Department to the District Attorney's Office that have been rejected by Mr. Gascon because of his directives.
And this is personal for you as well because of what happened to your husband. Tell us about that, Tanya.
Absolutely. My husband, Sergeant Steve Owen, was brutally murdered, rather executed by a violent felon who happened to be on parole. He was a third striker. And at the time that he killed my husband or murdered my husband, it was before George Gascon. So at the time, we were definitely pursuing the death penalty, which was a just punishment for the crime. But once George Gascon was sworn into office, all of that went away. All the gun enhancements, all the special circumstances, all the allegations, the third strike, the parole, all of that was gone. And so this individual would have only been looking at a simple murder, and he would have potentially could have served 12 years or been sentenced to 12 years, but because he's already served 5 years, in 7 years or less, he would be out of prison.
That's absolutely insane. Again, we are so sorry for your loss. Let's look at some of the other numbers there in the Southland. Los Angeles theft in 2021, robberies, over 7,500 burglaries, over 11,000. Los Angeles specific crime, homicides up 12.1%, shots fired up almost 18%. Tanya, do you think now that the crime wave though is hitting the rich areas like Beverly Hills and now the Palisades, that was wild video that we saw over the weekend, that there is going to be more momentum to kick George Gascon out?
100%, absolutely. Everybody is tired of what is going on, the crime wave that we're experiencing, these flash mob robberies, these follow home robberies. I'll tell you what, people in our community are scared to go out. And all we ask for is to feel safe in our communities, to have safe schools, to have a safe environment, and ultimately for the law to be enforced. And yes, I believe that now that more people are being victimized because of George Gascon policies, absolutely everyone will want to be involved.
Well, you have 160 days to collect more than 580,000 signatures to advance this effort. And you say that there's a lot of energy behind this movement for obvious reasons. Tanya Owen, thank you for sharing your story with us this morning.
Okay. Y'all see that? Do y'all see that? See how he created crime, and see the only reason that they're worried now, even though Yeah, yes, that's right. Amazing Tribe. They let Cal Rittenhouse go. Here is Black Mama saying that this is the Gascon that they're talking about. Now, mind you, Gascon got in just like Kamala, Biden, Obama, and all our people that turn their backs on us and oppress us and or write policies that sometime that turns around and divertly start affecting us. They okay long as it was crime and everything. They think this is how they do us. This is us, the red cup. Here you go. Got a little say. There you go. Guns, drugs, crime, poverty, no business, no good businesses. They give this is y'all in the ghetto. This is y'all. This is where they want. They keep us a soup. They keep us a ghetto soup. But when the soup start falling over because you don't put too much in it, what happens when you put too much? It start leaking, right? It start overflowing. What's that falling out the side? It's overflowing into the white areas now, as you heard them say. Now they want to do something about it when it affects them. They don't never want to do nothing about nothing until it start affecting them, right? So that's why Michelle's story is important. And it's important in a lot of ways. It's important for us to address. And I'm not trying to be funny. Most of us that are murdered, most Black women, it is from our Black men. So we need to address the domestic violence that is within us. And I'm not saying it's just as worse as any other group. It's that we need to preserve ourselves. We're dying of other stuff. Any group is going to have crime among each other. And they know that that's a study. But what's making our crime worse is that in our neighborhoods, we have stuff that intensifies it when we're mad. We have alcohol, we have the drugs, we have guns, and we have police officers that don't give a damn. And we don't have nothing but crap in our dirty yard. Do you know visualization is a lot? When you see something beautiful, you be like, oh, it's so pretty. When we go out in our neighborhoods, they make sure it's bricks, no flowers, red brick, nothing that entices you, that makes you want to call this home. So they keep that separation. So we go into our apartments and our houses and we create our own homes. That's why we proud of look at my furniture. Look what I got. It makes us look at a lot of stuff. Michelle case opens up a lot. She's an activist from the grave. Because Gascon, it shows us that we need to address the domestic violence within us. It shows us that we need to be aware of our other brothers and sisters. That's why we need to unite. That's fighting for us just because we don't hear about them. You got to look up Michelle, look her up on YouTube and stuff. Go on her page. Black Mama put that up again. I don't know if I'm waiting to see if you coming in. Because I invited her into the studio. But it makes you be aware of how they're playing us and how we keep voting people in and we thinking they're going to do some policies that's going to change. Let me tell you something. If the policies does not come up from the federal government, unless you're living in that state or in that county, that policy is only going to help you either in that state and in that county. When you move out somewhere else, that policy is not going to help you. I have a guest in here. This is going to be Black Mama. She's coming in here with me so that she could tell you more about Michelle. I'm glad she stepped on. Black Mama has been support. She's our Black Mama. And I'm gonna see if I'm gonna add her to the street. Let's see. Hey, Black Mama. How you doing? I'm gonna see if I'm gonna add her to the street. I think you got to cut off your other screen.
What do I have to cut off? The YouTube?
Yeah, cut off. Are you? I mean, do you got two things going? Because I hear a playback.
Do I have to cut off the YouTube?
Cut off one. Yeah, do you got two things going? I mean, do you got two things going?
Yeah, because I hear this stuff.
Yeah, just take off one of them, whichever one.
Okay, how's that?
One that hey, Black Mama, I'm so glad you came on because you could tell Michelle's story better than me. You see what I'm saying? So go ahead and tell us about Michelle.
Does it sound okay now?
Mm-hmm. Tell us about Michelle.
Hello, family. So good to see you, Queen. I appreciate that you're doing this story. I reached out to the Queen to cover this story because Michelle Avan is the aunt to one of my very, very good friends. And so this story hits home. It's a pretty complicated story in that, you know, there's so much politics behind it. But the
Yeah.
bottom line is that she
Uh-oh.
was brutally murdered. Her coworker and her ex-boyfriend that she was trying to get a restraining order on because he was physically abusive.
And they work
And
at Bank of America, so don't let
yes,
Bank of
they're
America
both
go.
both
Let's name
very
like
high, high-ranking bank executives. So Michelle, I just want, like, I really want to focus on Michelle in that she was a very loving mother, very loving family member to all of her family. She worked her way up the ranks with Merrill Lynch and Bank of America. She started off as like a, you know, almost like a receptionist, and she just started working her way up the ranks. And all the while, she always paid attention to Black people, to her community, because she's Black. And she, you know, most people, you know, we always say that sometimes when you start going up, you know, higher in the ranks, that you start to forget where you came from, you start to forget your family, you think you're better. She never, ever behaved that way. As she was climbing the ranks, she always focused on, and you know, her children, I'd say Naya is about 19 years old, and Trayvon's probably about 20, 25, 26. So they're young adults. But as she was raising them and, you know, climbing up this career ladder, she always taught her kids, do not forget where you came from. Always, you know, stay involved in the community and make sure that you're giving back to the community. So actually, because of her heavy community involvement and her passion to make sure that more Black people and Black women in particular enter the field of the financial realm so that they can, you know, get into those type of positions, Bank of America, they promoted her to senior vice president. And she headed an entire division where they had to reach out and try to recruit more Black people and people of color, underrepresented groups, into the financial industry. She did a lot of private organizations as well, where she would go out into the Black community every year and give out, like, you know, 1,000 backpacks full of school supplies to, you know, children from at-risk communities. So when I heard about her murder, um, I promised, I promised her family that, you know, I was going to get this word out. And, you know, a lot of you might recognize, you know, my name, you know, in the chats, and we always greet each other in chat. And I do my best to support a lot of the Black media. Um, I had to go
Yes,
back
she
and
was.
tell this family that people didn't want to touch this story. That was heartbreaking. I told them, I'm sorry that I, you know, basically wrote a check that my ass couldn't cash, and promised that, you know, I was going to spread this. So this isn't about my ego. I don't, you know, care about that.
Mhm.
I just hated seeing the look on their face when, you know, I said, okay, people agree that this was a heinous crime. They, you know, agree that he should be under the jailhouse, but they don't want to touch it because of the political issues surrounding it. So you did a great job, Queen, in telling what the issue was, but I just want to clarify. So basically,
Yes.
George Gascon, a career LAPD, he was LAPD.
Pimp.
So we're supposed to believe, we're supposed to believe that he somehow wants to come back into the Los Angeles community, because he did go to San Francisco for a while and was in politics there. But he came back to unseat the, you know, the former DA Lacey, who she refused, even though she's a Black woman, not all skin folk or kinfolk, even though she's a Black woman, she was kind of doing the Kamala Harris thing where she was going hard after our young Black men, going very, very easy on the police department, like, many DAs do. But somehow, this white Cuban career Los Angeles Police Department cop convinced us, and when I say us, I mean the Black community, because actually we don't trust Black Lives Matter. We talk about that on Black media all the time. We know that Black Lives Matter. We love the concept of it, the saying, but we know that that whole organization has been hijacked by other groups and used for other agendas and not for, improving Black community. But somehow he has convinced us that he was going to come in and clean up the dirty cops, his friends, that he was going to come in and get, put in policies that were going to save Black youth. Because he pointed out, he pulled on those heartstrings. He did put in policies, and a lot of his policies, I have to say, are good. I don't know that he's really applying them in a way that truly helps Black young people. It might be helping people of color, and we know that trick bag as well, because I did a lot of research. I didn't know much about him until, a few other people that I reached out to gave me more background. He has, put in where you're not going to get charged as an adult if you're a child. I like that, because we know that our young boys are often charged as adults at higher proportions than, someone like Kyle Rittenhouse. He actually, when I looked at some news stories, he let thousands, tens of thousands of people out of prison for marijuana cases. And of course, we know that our people are often targeted for those things and put in jail for that, that small offense. The question is, what percentage of those that he let out were Latino as opposed to Black? Because I'm not seeing that breakdown. So we might be out there celebrating that, hey, this guy's letting out people, for these offenses. And I don't know if he's letting out the majority of Latino people. Not that they belong in there for that reason either, but I just don't know that he's doing something truly for the Black community. And him being a white Cuban ex-cop from LA, I just don't see, we always say the best predictor of the future is looking at the past. Well, when have we seen somebody who's white and Cuban and an LAPD officer who made it up the ranks? When did you ever see him go against his own to say, to save a Black person? So I just want us to know this story. I can't tell people what to do politically, but I can say what the family would like. They would like people to go on to her Facebook and show support. If on that Facebook page, you can find where they have a sample letter or a sample statement, and you can call George Gascon's office. And they just kind of want people to, blast and call that office until he adds special circumstances. That is something California law allows. He's charged with felony murder. He is charged with burglary. Under California law, when you have murder committed while there's a burglary, then you can add what's called special circumstances, which is an enhancement. It's to make the charges harsher, more severe. Because this DA refuses to do so, he was able to post bail. So imagine, coming, you didn't hear from your mother, who you talked to several times a day. Yeah. And you're calling her for several days and she's not answering. And, Trayvon then said, let me go see what's going on with my mom. And he goes into the home, goes upstairs and finds her bloody, beaten in face, dead on the floor. And the person who they know did it, you know, there's lots of evidence. That's why he's being charged, because there's lots of evidence that he did it. That guy, the bail was actually set at $2 million. You have to post 10%, which is a lot of money. And he had it. So this is not somebody who is a, you know, 16-year-old gang member who comes from, you know, poverty, comes from an at-risk neighborhood.
Exactly.
He really didn't have any opportunities. That is what we want Gascon to do. We want to make sure that, yeah, you're not locking up a, you know, a lost kid, a kid that got into some trouble, because, you know, we have these neighborhoods that our government created with lack of opportunity, lack of jobs, you know, all the things that, you know, create a bad environment. We don't want those kids to be charged as adults. That's true. So when Gascon says stuff like that, I absolutely agree. But I want to know, what the hell does that have to do with a 54-year-old man who could post $2 million bail? He has all the opportunities in the world afforded to him. So like you said, what's there to reform? What's there to reform? This is not a lost kid who just never had a chance.
Nothing.
There's nothing to reform. It's a grown ass, mature man with a good education, a fantastic job that pays very well, a big network of professionals in the financial industry, who simply could not stand that his girlfriend didn't want to get beat on. So what's there to reform? He's just an asshole. He's a monster. There's nothing to reform with that.
Exactly.
So, you know, again, now I want to tell you,
and I'm going to
when I spoke with her son Trayvon, and I apologized and said, I'm sorry that I said, you know, I'll help make a lot of noise, and that's not happening, because of the political issues. You know, basically nobody wants to touch it. This guy's powerful. George Soros, Black Lives Matter, they funded his campaign. So even though Black media in our, you know, B1 community says we don't trust George Soros, we don't trust the white media, we don't trust Black Lives Matter after it's been hijacked, we decided that we were going to let Michelle be a casualty of war. And just say, well, you know, their family has to take one for the team. And I don't agree with that. No, they don't. We should be showing support, because by all accounts, she was successful and beautiful. And we always talk about, you know, Black love and, you know, don't run off with white zaddy. She could have done all of those things. She was pretty, stylish, had all these, you know, networks where she could have gone up there, snuggled up with white zaddy, but she didn't do it. She got together with a brother. And this is not a crime of race, because again, I don't believe in all that Black on Black crime talk. Crime happens. It happens to, you know, within your community. So we know most white people that are killed by white people. Most Asians that are killed by, you know, people in their community. Latino, whatever it is. So I don't go with that stupid narrative of Black on Black crime. But the bottom line is, you know, she could have ran off with white zaddy thinking she's better than everybody, but no, she stayed in her community and she fought to make things better. And no way in hell should we ever have come back with the answer to her family that, you know, well, what's white media gonna say? What's Fox News gonna say? What are they gonna think? What, you know, because there are these political things where, you know, in politics, their favorite thing to talk about is out of control crime. Oh, Gascon has things so out of control. You know, they want to say that so that they can get more funding for these brutal police. Yeah, they want those police to go, oh, you know, they want everybody to think everything's out of control so they could send those stormtroopers in there, right? They want to go in there and start beating and killing our people. So they talk about crime all the time. But like you said, our people, we're about some of the most, if not the most peaceful. If crime is happening, it's something that white supremacy set up to do.
Exactly.
All the pathologies that do happen, if there are some breakdowns in our communities, that was caused by, by the circumstances and the situations that white supremacists put into place.
Yes.
But so this is a sensitive thing. And yes, we have to be smart. No, we can't just run in and not understand that, yes, white media will use the fact if Black people who put in Gascon turn around and say, take him out. Oh, yes, they're going to use it. But when the hell have they not turned the narrative on us anyway? We don't have to make things make sense because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it makes sense, if it's logical, when white people say so, that's what it is. So why are we looking for their validation? Why are we looking for the validation in the understanding of people that we know are fork-tongued liars?
We're not looking for validation no more, Queen.
Hell no.
We're not looking for validation no more. And it's time that we start, because we vote, but we don't understand the voting system. We don't understand policies. We don't know how to look up a policy to see what they're writing. And that is the same way they did us when they took over this land. When they came in as the so-called pilgrims, they gave us treaties that had language we didn't understand. And
exactly.
And that's what they do. They give us stuff that we don't understand, and we don't understand it. So we just ready to vote somebody in without knowing how to look up their history, to how to look up their statistics. And it's nothing wrong with that. We have been taught to be proud, but not being proud to understand that, hey, I'm proud to say, I understand I'm a victim of white supremacy and I don't know everything. So I need to look up some stuff. That's why, just like with the story you gave me with this story, when you brought it to me, I had to do my research because, I had this story for a while.
So Gascon did come in. And again, I think it's all a trick bag because he immediately came in and he brought up about 4 cases of police officers that shot unarmed people. And so he put it under review. He hired a special prosecutor.
To put this case on it, to put this under review?
No, of police officers, because remember, that's what Black Lives Matter put him in for.
And that's the trick.
He's supposed to be the one to go after these crooked cops. Somebody who was a crooked cop, for 30 some odd years, all of a sudden wants to go against his own. I don't believe it, but that's what he said.
That's how you know that they're going to trick us. When they know the system, he knows how the system works, so he knows how to put the system back on the streets, so white supremacy can still rule, so that we can still be killing each other. So you're not trying to help more Black people,
but
you're
what I'm saying is that
destroying us.
Right, but I want you to pay attention to the trick bag. So he immediately targeted 4 cops that for some high profile shootings.
That's just candy. That's just candy.
And that's what I'm saying. Oh, but nothing's happening yet. So they're now reaching the point of the statute of limitations for what they're, supposed to be charged with. And so I feel like it's just this thing where let's put it under review. It's kind of like when the politicians start talking about Black reparations and they say, we're going to put together a committee to review if, we should do reparations. Well, there's nothing to review. Everybody knows what the history is. They know what the economic impact was. Like, this has been talked about for many, many, many decades. But they just want to put together another review. So that's what Gascon's doing. He's sitting around review. It's just that trick to get you to the next election, to pretend, look what I'm doing, but nothing's happening. But at the end of the day, none of that is neither here nor there. Let's get back to Michelle. Again, a woman who gave her resources, shared her resources, I should say, with the Black community. No matter what, no matter how big she got, no matter how high on the ladder she got, she always stayed in the Black community, making sure to, give back, and taught her kids that. So when I told Trayvon, hey, I can't help you, do you know what his answer was? He didn't get angry. Now this was back in early September. No, I'm sorry, in late August. So less than a month from the time that his mother was murdered. He said, that's okay. I understand if they don't want to get into the political part of it. And he said, I just want people to know about my mother, and I want them to carry on her legacy and continue to help their communities. That broke my heart even more, because the way I am and the way my temper is, I probably would have been like, fuck this and I just want to turn over, start punching people all in their throat. I would have wanted to choke everybody, oh, are you joking? My mother gave so much of her time, energy, money, resources, everything to the Black community. The Black community's turning around and saying, no, he didn't do that. He just said, I understand. But I'd like, if they can just go out into their communities and help their people. That shows what kind of woman.
And that's what I liked about that, because
and how she taught her children.
That's right.
And let me point this out too, because we don't really hear about their father. Their father is in the picture. So, they have a great father as well, because I don't want it, I don't want this to turn into a gender war. This is a domestic violence issue, which that brings up something, because this is not a race issue. This is a domestic violence issue. I do want to know, where's all the white feminists? How come they're not making enough noise? How come the white feminists are not jumping on, and calling Gascon's office?
You took that out my mouth, honey.
Yeah, where's Me Too?
Somebody type that in the text. Where's Me Too at?
Yeah, where's Me Too? Where's the white feminists? Where are they? Oh, yeah, I forgot that they're part of Black Lives Matter.
R. Kelly. Yeah, where's the R. Kelly accusers? That y'all worried about R. Kelly and these grown kids who parents set up them for money, but where's all them at? Where's if these stories are so commercial that it's funny? Where are all the mad women about women being murdered? That's why I said it's a joke. Gascon is a joke. Me Too is a joke. We gotta save ourselves.
And so I do agree with the fact that this is not a Black issue, in that, as far as like, this wasn't a crime of race, and this wasn't, but it is still a Black issue, in that this is one of our sisters. And she's a sister that was active in the Black community, trying to ensure, because we talk about money, right? We say, hit them in their pocket, make sure that we get our businesses up, that we're saving our money. This is what she was trying to teach the Black community. She wasn't talking about holding hands and singing Kumbaya, making sure everybody likes her and making sure that we can, eat at the same restaurant as, somebody. She was just trying to make sure that they understood how money works. How do I even get into this industry and become an executive? So it is a Black issue in that. But as far as the, the political fight, it's not a Black issue. But still, that's why I'm saying, just as people that care about her family, this family that gave so much of their time, those, Naya and Trayvon, they had to share their mother with the Black community, meaning that, she already had to spend so much time in her career. But then it's like, she didn't get to just go home and sit down. She was out there. Okay, no time to rest. Get out there and give. And come on, kids, you're coming with me. You're going to learn how to remember your community. And so, no, we can't let them be, just a casualty of war. Collateral damage is actually a better thing to say. You know how that when they go blow up something and there's some innocent people get blown up, and we go, oh, well, you got to look at the bigger picture. Who cares about the people who got blew up, that blown up? It's, their collateral damage. No, I can't. And I've been having a hard time, sitting on this for months. And even though Trayvon released me, and other people of that responsibility and just said, hey, I understand. And so graciously, said, as long as, you guys talk about my mother and let people know, but I couldn't sleep at night.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, after all this Black empowerment talk that we're all out here doing, jumping on the damn internet and co-signing with each other and all this stuff, and ooh, we're so strong, and why did we worry about what the hell some white people were going to say about this?
But we've been programmed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And what we need everybody to do is a call to action. I mean, because when I went over there, when I was testing it out and listening, I tried the hashtags, and I don't know if it's a hashtag justice for Michelle, but we need to hashtag her name, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Every post that you do, if you know how hashtags work, even if it's just a video, even if you see something, I don't care if you in a viral video and it has nothing to do, just put hashtag justice for Michelle. What we need to put, hashtag Michelle Avan, or is it justice for Michelle?
It's hashtag, it could be hashtag justice for Michelle, or it could be hashtag justice for Michelle Avan. I like the whole name so that we could be specific.
Okay.
And here's the thing, we don't know how effective we would be in a call to action. We don't know, but damn it, at the very least, show the family some damn support. At the very least, if I don't know if we can change someone's mind, but at least let the family know that we didn't just go, oh wow, that's an unfortunate story, and then move on to the next.
And that's how they have us. That's how they have us with every Black story, and it's ironic. And I'm hoping that this story really get out, because do y'all hear her son's name is Trayvon, y'all? Do we not have the Trayvon Martin story? I mean, come on. We have to tell our stories for our people.
Mm-hmm.
And
I talked about the white women. I also want to talk about the Black women. Where the hell are the Chucks and Pearls?
Chucks and Pearls.
Yeah, where are they? Where's the Steve Weeks? Where, I want to know, because she was an educated woman. She and it was very important for her to send her daughter to a historically Black college and university. Now, Bank of America had something set up. That girl could have gone anywhere she wanted to, and her mother said Black school.
What has Bank of America, y'all, done?
So they have done some, Bank of America, you have to remember, because Anthony Turner is, was, because I'm sure he's no longer working for them, but was one of their employees. You have to know that with labor law and all of that stuff, they have to, be careful with how they get involved into talking about a case. They did pay.
Talking about the case,
so let me tell you, they did pay for her funeral.
They dumped lots of money to her children.
Yeah, they have things set up. They flew in her family members from Florida and all over the place so that they could attend the funeral. So, they did something. Is it from their heart, or is it for, PR? I don't know, but
I think it's just to keep them busy, because nobody is associating two Bank of America employees with one brutally beat the other. If you take out Black or white or man or woman,
well, I see that in the Los Angeles, in the local news, they always say that they were co-workers, both executives in Bank of America.
But when every story like me, Beat Zilla's on here with me and Beat Zilla, which we're going to do a story again. When we were looking, me and Beat Zilla, you barely, when you Google the stories, you barely, unless you probably in your local area where it happened.
So in Los Angeles,
stories, they don't say any. They associate her as the VIP of the Bank of America, but they don't associate the murderer, because that's what they do. Just like they try to disassociate themselves so they won't have to be held responsible for Anthony Turner. Now, I understand they probably did a little stuff for the family. You should. You the bank. You owe us more than that.
You should.
During slavery. That ain't nothing. But at the same time, what we going to do, what they doing for this murder is they hiring her family. Well, I guess you can't hire a lawyer, but they could start a foundation. They could do more. And that's why.
Can I talk about their lawyer now? Okay. So the family does have a lawyer who is working pro bono, so he's not charging them anything. Can I tell you that's another trick bag?
Yes.
That's why this is such a complicated case. That lawyer took on the case because he's a political rival of Gascon. He's the one
Yeah, that's
that's
what
going to
you.
play that, oh, everything's so dangerous and we need more cops and we need to, more policing. So he's no good either. He's no good. None of them are. None of these people in this political game are good. But then now the question is, which one can we utilize? We don't have to think somebody loves us. We don't have to think that they're really for us, but which one's going to really do what we're telling them to do? And so, that's the case. I'm not looking for them to really truly have the heart. I could give a damn and care less if they really care about me, but motherfucker, do what you said you're going to do for our people. Don't make blanket policies that protect rich and powerful people, but then really, because let's say that they do get rid of all these harsh.
What, but this is
There's a delay. You're frozen.
well, that's what. But see, right. I don't know what happened. Are you there, Black Mama?
Yes. I just hear like a delay in your audio.
Okay, okay. Did you finish your last point you were making?
Oh,
I think we haven't. School
I'm
two's
sitting
going.
here
We
like
I think we
fired up and
had.
yelling. Who
It's
knows what
messing
my
up
point
some, but we're
was.
gonna revisit this. I put it up
Yes.
here, and we're gonna try to end the broadcast so it won't be a horrible broadcast with
Okay.
it start freezing and now at least I did. We'll have to go back and look. But what I'm gonna do is find some more updates for it so that we can get this story out. I put some stuff on TikTok because I know that most of the time, y'all, when a trend is coming, when you type in that name, her name should pop up in Google. It should automatically pop up if there's a lot of people playing it. But the powers that be, and that's why I still call out Bank of America, because Bank of America goes back to slavery and everything. So basically, they have a lot on their hands.
Yeah,
you have a black man
an
that work for you.
organization.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, and what they're trying to do is
all of these corporations.
What they're trying to do is
So now
disassociate themselves.
Right. And that's the game, we know. So here is the thing. And yes, I'd like to do follow-up with this, but also if we are going to end on a certain point, again, it's about strengthening our community to the point that we can walk around and say, because I'm Black and I said so. I don't have to make sense. I just damn said so. If we're, that's where we have to get together. We spend so much time criticizing each other and fighting each other and talking about nonsense. We're still way too far behind. We're making progress. We are making progress. And thank goodness for these platforms so that we can connect with others and see that there are more of us than we think, because they'll always want us to believe that we're not on the same page, and there's like way more of coons and people that are out there, buttered biscuits and coons. Yeah, there's way too many of them, but there are enough of us that we can make a difference. And we have been making a difference in some things. We just have to step it up and tighten up, and get more action out there.
And what I want to say,
I cannot, we can't force Gascon to do something. But something we can control is, yes, are we going out into our communities? Are you finding the elderly Black woman in the community and painting her damn porch? Are you going and making sure that this Black child has his school supplies? Are you making sure that we're doing things for each other? Are you stopping to our Black men? Are you stopping your friends from making comments about how cute this Latina is and they look better than Black women, or, you know, Min May and Whispering Wind Through the Woods, or whatever Native American, you know, the $5 Indian Native American, like, you know, how everybody and their mama looks better than a Black woman? Are you just laughing at their jokes, or are you checking them? Are you saying don't come out your mouth about our queens like that? Look, if you like it, I love it. If you want to run off with some other race, do it. But also stop giving them an audience. Stop hanging out with them. You can't make them love our people. You can't make Black women stop getting on the internet and talking about all Black men like they're raggedy in whatever they're saying. You know, they got this gender war. That's another thing against our people. You can't make them stop, but you could stop hanging around them. I don't hang out with people that talk like that. No, I don't give them an audience. I'm not laughing at your damn joke. I'm not giving you a pass. You could just keep it going. And you'll find out that they'll start to shut their damn mouths when they realize, because see, we're the cool ones. Like we're the ones with the swag. We're the ones that everybody want to act like. So stop giving them an audience, stop hanging out, stop giving them a pass. That means other Black people in your family. I don't give a damn if it's your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, your homie. Cut them off, and you'll see right away they'll start to shut their mouths on that nonsense.
Exactly. You said the right thing. With call to action with the men need to stop entertaining these women. You said the right thing. Y'all entertain these women and they feel authoritative. I get into it with this woman. Don't get into it. Her videos, I make it videos because it's this older white woman who does TikToks, but she goes off, and I'm not going to say her name is TikTok something. She even got on The View. All because she mimics our songs and our dances and throw up the gang signs. But yet, like I put on her post, you would never go down there. You can mimic our songs, but you don't. But where are you fighting for our lives? Where's she at with this story?
Right.
Why are you not mimicking the story? Like all these white performers and creators, why don't they use their platform to tell our stories too? But
they don't like us. They just love to steal our stuff.
The Black women, she's famous, got almost 1 million followers. From who? Us. We're following her like she married. When we see a white woman dance like us, we like, oh yeah, what the fuck? She's mimicking you. You're cheering somebody that's mimicking you, and then she turns around and goes with her white friends and turn their nose up and go to your Black men, and you're not considered good enough. So you're, yay, the white woman can dance like me. Yay, we love you. What y'all love her for? What do you love?
And they don't even imitate it well. That's the funny part. Exactly. They're not even doing a good job.
Like all this dancing and stupid. And then the Black men, like you said, Black mama, start checking your friends. Y'all are responsible for the system that y'all create, the circles that you create. If you're not going to hang with a drug addict, don't hang with somebody who hates your race. Don't hang with nobody that's going to influence you to keep stepping outside your race. That's how we're getting comfortable. It's nothing wrong with it, but right now is not the time, because we don't even know who's the enemy and who's not. So we don't need to be bringing people in our circle. And then them same white women, a lot of them turn on our Black men. We see it in the star. We see the stars all the time. Majority of our rich Black men go to these white women, and we always looking at their stories, having their kids. We don't, all their children look alike because they're all mixed, basically. And then we sit up here and say, oh, we want children by the other race, whether Black or white, because they look pretty. Not because
dumb as hell. That is dumb as hell.
Not because they look like your granddaddy or your grandmama. Not because they represent you. It's because they represent what society says is good. And that's it. That's what society says. But you said the right thing. It's gonna take Black men to get onto your Black men. If your Black man, if friend is sitting around saying, man, I slapped that. My husband and his friends are not like that. And won't deal. I've seen them check each other. You have to have a group of men check each other. Right. And when it comes down to, I slap her, hell no. Now I'm not gonna say people fight. Some stuff happens. So I'm not saying that stuff is not perfect, because you might want to throw a pencil. You know, we want to be real. But there's difference from going to beating and hitting somebody and then you hanging around your friend. That's how I was. Me and my girls, When we used to we made a pact. We had some girls that come out with us, hang out. You want to date people, but yet you ain't got none of your children. Bitch, excuse
and
me.
another thing, and that
You
goes
can't hang with us.
Yeah,
You can't
and that
hang
goes for the
with us.
sisters. That goes for the
Right.
sisters. We got to cut off our friends that are talking about black. I don't care if your black boyfriend hurt your feelings or whatever. Stop running around talking about all black men like they are. And not just criticizing black men, but then acting as if the white zaddy is the savior. Wait a minute. If your black men are acting up, it's because most of the time it's because of something white zaddy set up. White zaddy set up a system to create pathologies in our community. So why would you go, if you don't like somebody's demonic behavior, why would you leave them to go date the devil himself? That just doesn't make any sense. What you want to do is you want to exorcise that damn demon out of the person, or at least just avoid the demon altogether, but don't go run into the arms of the devil. How the hell is that going to make any sense? So we have a lot of work to do in our community. And that really, in essence, is what Michelle Avan stood for. She wanted to strengthen our community. So if you want to show the family some love, go to their Facebook page. I put it in the chat right now because I'm on the StreamYard with you. I can't see the YouTube chat. But if you guys can go back and just show some love. I don't know if you want to get into the political part of it. I don't know, but show the family some love and appreciation and support, and then go out and show love to B1 people, to Black media. Show love to,
Black Mama sure shows love, y'all. So if anything, I know she's donated to me when I was sick. I didn't even know it. Black Mama, when she first said, "Oh no, we got to get you." I got a whole box of all stuff come, and honey, but that it made me feel good because it's like, wow. People, and that's what I look for, because that's what I want to give. And if we could just take what you do and we pass it around, I'm not saying the rest, Kathy, all y'all, we in the nation together, but like when we all do stuff, it's like, come on, you know what I'm saying? I love what you do. You try to support everybody, and she had been reaching out to YouTubers and stuff, trying to get her story out because this is close to her. So a Black Mama, this is for all YouTubers, followers. Y'all make us. Y'all are the important one. So we need the followers to pass the video on, this video, and pass it on. Hashtag Michelle Avery and other Black YouTube channels. Let's give back what we get. Let's don't wait for them to tell us what's important. This is important in so many ways because it could be on the floor.
Yes, and to some of the YouTubers that, and I don't want to call them YouTubers. I'm sorry, for YouTube content creators, news broadcasters.
I don't even get
yes,
I don't
know. Actually, I'm very, very grateful that several responded to me. They didn't have to, especially with the amount of followers, and they put me up on game of the whole political thing. And when I say in that situation, I actually have political networks. I have even media contacts of some pretty powerful media contacts. I don't want to use them. The whole point is that we want to get away from the white supremacist media, the white supremacist system. So just because I have those contacts, and I mean close ones, I'm militant and I'm about this B1. So how the hell would I go into, those contacts that support what I'm on here fighting against? So, I'm not going to go that route. I came to our people. I came to our group. We are each other's strength. So I was glad that they did call me back, and they, and they were supportive. They were supportive, and they gave me some information that I found to be very useful. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, okay, thanks for that. But now we have to still do something. And however that looks, it might not be on the political front, but it still needs to be, let's get her story out and let's get us being more active. Yes, we're making progress. We need to make more.
Okay. And I appreciate you, Black Mama. I don't know if you froze up on me. I heard you say make progress. And so y'all do the call to action. I've been putting it up there. I'm gonna put it up here again. Let us share this video. We're gonna come back, and when we talk about the Michelle story, we'll kind of and it's gonna be a hard thing to talk about because I know we're B1, but being B1 doesn't mean we're perfect. We have to fix within our circle so we could be a stronger circle. So we're gonna take this story and talk about our violence with Black women, with Black men against Black women in our own communities, because our Black men have been programmed to treat us like garbage. And that's the only way you can really beat a Black woman face in like this and know that nothing is really going to be too much done. It has happened over and over again. So we'll revisit this story probably next week, or at the what is today? Today's Saturday. Yeah, next week. And we'll revisit. We'll see. We need y'all to go to Michelle Avan's Facebook page where hold on, let me see if I can, the Michelle movement. Am I sharing it? No, is it letting me share? Am I sharing? Hold on. I'm gonna just show her a little bit
I
more.
see it across the screen.
Okay. I got the number. We need y'all to call that number because this man is going to court. I try to get it close so that we won't forget, because they have us, our mind, we easily forget stories, that we got so many stories we get confused. So we need to start calling and telling him to meet with this family and give special circumstances. We need to hashtag justice for Michelle Avan. We need to call this number. Call to action. We are asking Mr. Gascon, the LA County DA, to have a meeting with the family and that he actually attends the meeting. And that number is going to be 213-974-3512. I know that the message, the little message is that he's a public servant. Don't do like Kamala and the rest of them when we put them in and then they ignore our cry. Because regardless of race, she's a Black woman. We know that statistically Black women suffer the most. So this is a lot that he can, if he really wanted to help Black women, he could, I mean, Black people, you would start with something like this. You can balance it out, or is it a trick? So we need a call to action. We need y'all to spread this story and help this family, because y'all go in there and see her children. Go in there and see her children. She just had a grandbaby. I got 7 grandkids. I just had a grandbaby. So I wouldn't know or what I would do if I couldn't be there and see my grandkids. So it's a tragedy. And he beat her with his bare hands or with something and left her there. That's how serious it is, because we are done anyway. If this would have been a blonde-haired, blue-eyed chick, we would see it all over the news. They didn't even, she was missing. Did the bank even come? I remember I worked in TV before I went on my own. I remember guy didn't show up for work one day. They sent the police to his house, knocked on his door. They found him that same day. He was dead, but they sent it. Did nobody sent nobody to her house? Her son had to find her that way. So yes, the number is 213-974-3512 right here on the screen. This is Michelle. This is her face. This is her,
beautiful
we need
woman
to make some noise. Yes. And if you go, I'll try to see if I can upload, because I'm learning back with StreamYard. I'll do it on my next show to see if I can play some of her clips when she was doing her meetings and when she was talking. So y'all just kind of research her sister. We only want to, it's a shame that we only uplift our people and know about our people after they're gone and they can't do anything anymore. You know what I'm saying? So we need to, it'd be like me if something happened to me, all this work I'm trying to do to help our people, and only let me disappear. That would be a tragedy. This is a tragedy. Just because you don't know or get to know her. That's what they do. They make us get to know all these people who are not relevant to us. Get to know her work and help her children not turn away and say, bump the Black community. Because if her daughter and son walked away with a white woman and a white man, then y'all will be talking. Y'all have so much to say. We want to gossip all the time and we want to put each other down. Let's take this energy and do something that we created, our own momentum, that is not a momentum where we're going to get this person elected, or this momentum or we're going to get this person in office. No, let's create the momentum to get our person some justice and get her family, you can't bring her back, but let her family, her children, which is young, know that her mom and his mom, their mom didn't fight for Black people only for us to ignore them, waiting for the white people to tell us her story is important. Her story is important to us. We don't need, we are at a point now, Black media, we're small, but we do not need to wait for white media to tell us something is important. That's the problem. We wait for stories that white media put out first. We got thousands of stories in our neighborhoods.
Right.
But because you think it's not important because white media doesn't put it on your screen, we don't make it important. When I started Fly Nubian Queen, I tried to dig for stories that I seen that is important, that might not just be mainstream news. Just, you know, we need to talk about stuff that really affects us. And them stories is going to come back. You know what I'm saying? So we need to make our lives important. Black Lives Matter is a joke to us. Your life matter. Let's do it individually. Your life matter. Your
Absolutely.
life matter. So if this was you and your mom, your life would matter. What would you want done? You want everybody. Yes, that's the Facebook page, Amazing Tribe.
Thank you.
Michelle movement, Justice for Michelle Avan. Y'all will want yeah, it says at Justice for Michelle Avan. Go on TikTok, go on Snap, go on all our social medias. You got your children, ask your children, like mine's no, hey, can you just share this picture and hashtag this on your Snap? Let's start making we already hear Black media. Let us show them what Black media is, because now they're trying to come to where Black media is housed at, YouTube and all these other places. You see all the news people now trying to keep y'all on their attention because they want what we created as usual. It's just the same thing. You don't see it happening behind scenes. We created this platform that's owned by a white person. Then after we created, then they start muzzling our mouth, telling us what we can and cannot say. Are you not tired of that? If we do not empower our Black media can get money, and then we start really creating it, our own stations. But we can't get anywhere until we get support from each other.
Absolutely.
We are not going to be able to do that. Just like Black Mama is here, I'm pretty sure all y'all that have a story, let's start giving our stories. If you know something personally, let's start talking about our own stories. Stop waiting for white people to tell you you're important. Stop waiting for white people to tell you Michelle's life is important. Stop waiting for people to tell you what you need to hear. We need to hear stuff about this. Had we not did it, you don't know. Like, this is crazy because some half white man, Gascon, comes in that we elected, that Black Lives Matter, not we, but the people that he fed us bones. It was the biggest trick. Just to go back and do the worst. He was better off letting the other prosecutor do whatever, but now you come and take away the punishment we do have when somebody do us wrong. A murderer is a murderer.
Right.
So you taking away the power that you, now it's like Black people, our hope is being stripped all around us. That's right. We need our own validation, and we got to validate ourselves. So I'm glad everybody came into this broadcast. Y'all will see more of me, and we're going to be carrying this story because when Black Mama came to me, I was kind of weak. Let me tell y'all something. COVID really does.
It does.
The body. When I got up to do stuff, it took me a while to move around. I still get tired and stuff and everything. I still have flashes and stuff, but I'm still, you know what I said, you know what, I'm gonna keep doing it. I have to get that momentum. And I use Michelle's story because I was gonna do it during Thanksgiving, but I like when I come out and I start going back doing my videos, I'm starting off with Michelle's story.
Queen, thank you so much, because I know you kept in contact with me this entire time, and you were trying to hurry up and recover. And I was saying, no, you know, your health, get yourself strong. And, you know, and I knew that once you were up to it, that you'd come out hard for Michelle Avan and her family.
Yes, because it pissed me off. Y'all, this man is, because of his age and the way the special circumstances is, if the special circumstances isn't added, right, he's going to be looking at getting out in 5 years.
There's so
5 years. So if you're going to have people murdering just because of that, Black people, because it's supposed to help us, it's a trick.
Had he had special circumstances added, he would never even get bail. So
he's walking
that
around
hurt
eating
his,
and drinking like
yeah,
me and
he's
you.
walking around the neighborhood, going to Starbucks and doing everything like he
Where
didn't
her
beat
kids
someone
are at.
chasing.
This is mad. This is a
Mhm.
mad world we live in.
Yeah. So, and because of this other law that is in there, it's something about when you're over 50, because otherwise the charges actually, if he's found guilty, would give him a substantial amount of time. But because there's this other law, this other layer, and he has a powerful defense attorney who's never lost a case. So if you think that defense attorney isn't going to use that law about people over 50 and getting them out in a certain amount of time, you have another thing coming. So again, for a family that's mourning the brutal murder of their beautiful mother, loving mother, that shouldn't even be something that they should have to worry about. And again, yes, there's a whole nother side where the person representing the family has his political agenda too. And I don't trust that mess either. But again, I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about the family. And I'm also just saying that, hey, we come onto these platforms, we watch you, we watch a lot of our other B1 family. Yes, there has to be some strategy. You can't, if you don't have the right tools and resources, you don't just go charging in to go get your butt kicked somewhere. We can't be that emotional about things. But at the same time, at what point are we going to flex our muscle? We have some. It's this that keeps us from realizing just how powerful we are. Somebody told us that we're not powerful enough, and we believe
Exactly. And we believed it. Like
Mhm.
Malcolm X said, who told you?
Mm-hmm.
Who
Exactly.
told you?
So thank you so much for bringing this story back out to people's attention, and I look forward to continuing with follow-up stories, and
Yes.
and also, like you said, hearing more of our family, our B1 family, hearing more things that are relevant to them and to us as a group, and to be each other's support system.
Thank you, Black Mama. And again, I just want y'all to again the call to action. Y'all get to calling him, calling that Attorney Gascon, and then remember Michelle. Now, out of all that, let's take it back. Let's leave
Yes,
with
Michelle.
Michelle in our hearts.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
Michelle. Michelle. Is with her. She wanted to give back, and what her kids and her son Trayvon said is to go out and help some elderly people in your neighborhood. If you see an elderly lady, our elderly people like Michelle don't really have a lot of protection. You see all the rampant crime and stuff. If you know an elderly person and somebody, I know something that I used to live next door to. I used to go to the store for her all the time. They need that extra help to go to the store. They might need something fixed. A lot of people are scared because it's so much crime you can't trust. They made us not be able to trust ourselves in our own neighborhoods. Why they make us go to their neighborhood seeking for safety when we're basically in more danger and unprotected in their neighborhoods. We got no shade in the sun. The sun of white, we have no shade. So let us go give back, whether it's a child. If you see a mother with children, a single mother with children, give, maybe she needs some Pampers, maybe she need to go to the store, maybe she need help with something, maybe somebody next to y'all smart, maybe some child or somebody. Our Black children suffered during COVID because they couldn't go to school. Some of them need tutoring. Some Black mamas are too ashamed to say they don't know how to do the work, so them and the children is failing. We might need to help each other, So again, if you want to help Michelle, call and go to the justice the movement for Michelle Avan. Justice for Michelle Avan. And I thank you, Black Mama. And again, our solution, as you see right here, we got our own nation. We are the micronation. And I'm going to be doing some more videos explaining exactly what a micronation is so that we won't get it confused with churches, organizations, and something. We're creating a whole nother government, a whole nother small country. In America, you got everybody in one country. That's us. We are going to be everybody under one umbrella that is for B1, for us, for Black, for melanated people, where we can congregate together. And without that, we won't be able to have our own YouTube because we need a neutral place where we can pool together and know. So
Absolutely.
again, that is the solution. So again, I thank you again, Black Mama, and we're gonna
Thank
be
you.
able and shout out to all of you out there. Thank you for watching. Shout out to Fly Nubian Queen. Go ahead and subscribe to Fly Nubian
Yes.
Queen, the network for melanated people like you. And then if you want to
Yes.
follow me on YouTube and Instagram, Straight No Chaser with the Queen Show. Thank you, and y'all have a beautiful, blessed day.
Be one.
Be
Thank
one,
you.
people.